Hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. Hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. Hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. Hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official.
Peace, family. It's your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. We have some breaking news we wanted to cover from the music business. Drake has filed yet another lawsuit against Universal Music Group. As you know, yesterday, Drake withdrew his lawsuit from Universal Music Group. He was suing Universal Music Group and Spotify, accusing them of payola, accusing them of conspiring against him. It was a civil RICO case. It was all the things, but effectively saying that the music giants had undermined his ability to succeed. They had baked the numbers to make him look less popular, to make Kendrick Lamar look more popular, and to make the song Not Like Us even more popular than it was, thereby hurting Drake's material interest. Drake was saying, hey, y'all are killing me here, and y'all work for me, or I work with you. So this was a very ugly case and didn't win Drake any favors in the public arena. People called him a Karen. People said that he was a sore loser from the battle. People said that he had done everything he could to win and just didn't. And instead of taking the loss, he's going to blame Spotify. He's going to blame UMG. He's going to blame iHeartMedia for this alleged elaborate scheme that put his enemies at the top and stopped him from being at the top. Well, yesterday, they withdrew that filing in federal court, the Southern District of New York. And they withdrew the complaint, or they withdrew the case because they said they had met earlier that day and they reached some sort of agreement. The understanding at the time was, of course, that they'd reached a settlement, that maybe Universal Music and Drake were going to kiss and make up, that they would meet happily ever after, that they would be friends again, as it were. You know, these were all the kinds of allegations or speculations that people made. People also had their criticisms. Oh my God, you know, for 10 seconds, Drake said he was fighting for artists everywhere. Now, all of a sudden, he's withdrawing the case, maybe because he got what he needed, maybe because he got what he wanted. Drake, of course, was looking to renew his deal with UMG. Word on the street, he was looking for about $600–700 million. A lot of people felt like he was on the other side of his career. He was on the downside of his career and therefore didn't want to pay him. So this was the debate. Why is Drake doing it? Will he be successful? Some people said that he showed his cards and Universal folded. Other people speculated that Universal showed their cards and said, you can't win. Who knows? We'll find out more about that. But today's findings make all of it more complicated. Today's findings make all of it even messier. Yes, we're live, Kayla. And so that's what we're going to get into very, very quickly. And then we'll talk about it later tonight on Night School. In a federal lawsuit filed today, Wednesday, January 15th, Drake accused Universal of doing something else. It doesn't sound like they're in good terms, because Mr. Graham, Aubrey Drake Graham is his legal name, he entered a lawsuit, or his people filed a lawsuit for defamation and harassment. Defamation and harassment. I know we use the word a lot, defame. Defamation is when you make a statement that injures someone's reputation. When you make a statement that injures someone's reputation, that is the definition legally of defamation. That's the legal definition of defamation. And so Drake is saying that Not Like Us, everybody knows it, it's a huge hit, defamed his character. The song had punchlines, right? You're trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor, saying that Drake was sleeping with minors, but it's not just sort of tacit or implicit. He says certified lover boy, certified, and he calls him the P word, a pedophile, right? Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. We'll get to the wop wop wops in a minute. And there are other songs where, you know, keep your family away, etc. But it's this one that seemed to strike. He says that he says that calling him a pedophile was beyond the pale. It crossed a line. Battle raps are known for insults. They're known for hyperbole. They're known for shit talking, to put it frankly. But Drake is arguing that this is something different. Specifically, he says in the lawsuit, and I quote, Universal Music, and I quote, approved, published, and launched a campaign to create a viral hit out of a rap track. So it's not just he's saying that they called me a pedophile, right? He's saying that they made a campaign to let everybody know that I am a pedophile. That goes to the harassment part, right? So again, the first part was defamation, right? The second part is harassment. He said that the company put, quote, corporate greed over the safety and well-being of its artists. So the idea here is not only did you let somebody say things about me that were untrue, in this case, he said, intended to convey the specific, unmistakable, and false factual allegation that Drake is a criminal pedophile, and to suggest that the public should resort to vigilante justice in response. So the first part is you called me a pedophile and you made a campaign so that everybody could hear it. That's defamation. Everybody heard it. Everybody says I'm a pedophile. My name is Drake, and you're calling me a pedophile, right? That's what he's saying. The second part is it's harassment, because not only am I being called a pedophile, and not only is this chasing me around the country, not naturally, but you all are literally creating a campaign for people to call me that. But the song itself suggests that people, as he said, resort to vigilante justice in response. Vigilante justice. I'm assuming that's the wop, 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 wops, right? Wop, 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 wop. I'm a mug. Wop, 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 wop. Let me do my, right? So he's saying that the song is actually encouraging people to engage in violence against Drake, right? That's his point. So you call me bad things, and you're not saying, hey, call your local police officer. Hey, get me counseling. You're saying, whoop my ass. This is Drake's argument. It's an interesting argument. It's a compelling argument. I don't know if it's persuasive. I don't know if it's persuasive, but it's the argument Drake is making. Now, there are rejoinders, there are responses that we could have here. One, the most basic one is what the streets are saying, right? This is just some Karen shit. You lost the battle, and now you're crying about every piece of this battle. You're making it a legal issue. This is the epitome of being a Karen. You started some shit, and now Kendrick finishes it, and you don't like the outcome, so you call the police. Now, of course, like that starts the beef, right? So Kendrick literally sets off the first shot, and you can even go back to Control. I mean, or the BET verses, right? When he tucked the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes, right? There's no way that Drake started the battle, but they're escalating, and there's a moment where Kendrick says, "This could be a friendly fade. Like, don't go too far." Drake turns it up a notch. Drake has a thing for turning it up a notch. He has a thing for mentioning Whitney. He has a thing for mentioning, as Pusha T said, mentioning my fiance, right? So there's a way that he goes personal. He goes into the family stuff. So I don't know. You can make the case that Kendrick may have started a battle, but Drake turned this into a beef when Kendrick clearly warned him not to. However you look at that, I would argue in the context of this, Drake threw out some pretty hard allegations too. He accused Kendrick Lamar of domestic abuse. He accused him of cheating on his spouse, which is another thing Drake likes to accuse people of, or his partner. Drake accused him of being dishonest, not investing in the community. Not as bad as being called a domestic abuser, but he certainly assailed Kendrick's character, right? You don't in your own hood, you don't plant no money trees, right? He accused, and in that same flow of money trees, right? Who do we get to? We get to Dave Free, who he accuses of being the real father of Kendrick Lamar's child. So now you're attacking the reputation of Kendrick's partner, of his friend Dave Free, and you're could potentially ruin the life of Kendrick's kid. All of this is on the table too. Just like what Pusha T did to Drake, just like what Drake did to, we could go on down the list. The point is, battles are always personal. Battles always go really far, and battles always, in hip hop context, accuse people of things that didn't really happen, right? You really think Jay was calling Nas' house, and I ain't even give you my number, right? The idea here of like, Jay being 35 in a karate class, you Tabo. I mean, come on, like we really think this stuff is happening? We know Nas didn't have. When he broke down the albums, right? A one hot album every 10-year average, that's not even mathematically accurate, right? Or historically accurate. But the point is, that's how you do it. Look at LL and Kool Moe D. We're going down the list, right? You really think 99% of LL Cool J's fans don't exist? No, but fans wear high heels. But that's what Canibus said to LL, right? These are the battles. You talk about threats? Rap is filled with threats. Listen to Beanie Sigel and Jay-Z. I mean, and Jadakiss, excuse me. Right? But if you're going to involve yourself in the battle, and you're going to use the tradition, the language of the battle, then you got to accept the consequences of the battle. But what happens here, it seems that Drake is in step with battle culture. He's an excellent rapper. You saw that in the battle with Meek. Back to Back is an excellent song. You saw him you saw him even with W Freestyle against Pusha. Like he can rap. He can rap. But this feels out of step with the culture. And this is what people struggle with Drake. It's what I struggle with Drake. If you want to sue Universal Music Group because they're exploiting you and messing with your money and shitting on other artists, fine. I don't have a problem with that. It felt like sour grapes and a pretext for just being mad about losing. It made you look like a sore loser. But I heard from people on Drake's team like, yo, this is a real battle. It's going to change the face of music. Cool. But you withdrew that one. Now, we're doing this. That also makes us look at yesterday's action differently. Doesn't sound like they reached a settlement. There's no way they reached a settlement yesterday and he's suing them for defamation today. One or two things happen. Either they reneged on what happened yesterday and Drake's saying, well, it's back on again and I'm gonna turn it up a notch. Or they pulled back yesterday because of a different reason. Maybe Drake just didn't win that battle. We don't know. We just don't know. What we do know is that things are not cooling down here between Drake, Universal Music Group, or Spotify. Actually, not Spotify, Drake, Universal Music Group, or Kendrick Lamar. Spotify's not involved in this one. This is all UMG. This is between Drake and Lucien as much as it is between Drake and Kendrick. Let's see what happens. That's all for now, but let's see what happens. Hopefully Drake will make a comment on this. Hopefully Drake will release some concrete explanation of this. Somebody said, it's so weird how black culture was to police Drake's behavior. I thought he lost and isn't black, so stop being obsessed with him. They talk more about him than Dotson music. Look, a lot of Drake fans out there. A lot of Drake fans out there. Salute to y'all. You have every right to support Drake, and you have every right to be frustrated or confused about what's going on. You have every right to defend Drake. People who are criticizing Drake, you have every right to do so. All that is on the table. I'm just laying out the facts here and saying, this does not look good. This looks like you're outside of the culture. This looks like you are doing something crazy. If you have an explanation for it, I'd like to hear it. I'd love to hear Drake's explanation for this. It might be a brilliant one. But as of now, it just looks like he's suing somebody for doing the thing that everybody does in a rap battle, which is talk shit. And do we really think that people are out there trying to beat up Drake or kill Drake or get vigilante justice for pedophilia? I'm not sure I believe that. I'm not sure I believe that. Now, one thing the lawsuit says before I go is that the cover art of Not Like Us, which is important. Let me bring that up for y'all, because I don't want y'all to say I'm not presenting Drake's case well. I think I did present Drake's case pretty fairly, but if you look here, you remember this. This was the art for Not Like Us, and it's a photo of Drake's Toronto home with markers, right? And you know, if you know Megan's Law or sex offender rules, the idea is that those markers represent the presence of registered sex offenders. Now, that certainly invites harassment, certainly invites attention to where Drake lives, certainly invites problems. I don't disagree with that. I think that's the best argument. It invokes a shooting, according to the New York Times. The complaint invokes a shooting at the residence days after the song's release that injured a security guard, calling it the 2024 equivalent of Pizzagate, and cites 2 other attempted trespassers in the days that followed. I don't know how many people normally try to trespass on Drake's house, so I can't speak if that's that abnormal. But a lot of celebrities who have publicly positioned places, people try to get in. People try to get in Michael Jackson's house, or try to get in MC Hammer's house, or try to get in Beyonce's home, or Jay-Z, you know, whatever, right? Celebrities get crazy. People follow them all the time. But this does seem to be directly connected. He's saying it's the day after the song came out. If that's true, and I don't have any reason to believe that it's not true, I believe Drake, he's got a good argument that the song created problems for him and put him at danger. But I don't know, even if that's true, if we should be taking this to the courts, suing Universal. I mean, is this really a coordinated conspiracy to ruin your life, Drake? Or is it a battle rap that may have even gone too far? And again, I don't think your crib should have ever been on that album cover. I don't think people should put your family, friends, loved ones at risk. I agree 1,000% with that. But I can agree with that and still say this lawsuit ain't the answer. This lawsuit looks crazy. Anyway, we got this. Somebody said hip hop silent on Diddy and other abusers for years, but wants us to look at Drake funny because of fake allegations. Real shit, silent beef shit. I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if people knew as much about the Diddy stuff as they do now. But people are talking about Diddy all the time because they know. But you're right. The thing I agree with you about is that battle rap sparks attention. Famous people spark attention. Drama sparks attention. Unfortunately, in our culture, the things Diddy's accused of, and I say our culture, I mean American culture, not black culture, not hip hop culture, but American culture, we turn a blind eye to that stuff. We ignore that stuff. Or we focus on the most tawdry aspects of it, like people's sexuality versus whether they're doing harm. This is all part of the mix, and we need to have a real, honest conversation about all of it. I'm with you. But I don't accept the argument that we can't also talk about Drake. I don't accept the argument that we can't have an interesting conversation about this, because Drake is the biggest selling artist in the world. And not only is the story interesting in and of itself because we care about Drake and we care about Kendrick Lamar and we care about what's going on, it's interesting because there are implications of it. There are implications of it that go far beyond this particular story about what hip hop culture is, about what the battle is, about how we use the law, all these things, about the issues that are being raised around domestic violence and around sexual assault and all these things. All of it should be part of the conversation. Objectively, Bias says PDF file is too far, but not DV is why. I agree. All of it has to be in the conversation. Again, Drake can't say, calling me a pedophile was too far, but me saying that Kendrick does engages in domestic abuse isn't too far. Now, if Drake may say what I said was true, right? truth is always a curative to defamation, right? It's not defamation if it's true. I'm not saying it's true. I have no reason to believe that's true. What I'm saying is that Drake may believe that he was operating in good faith, telling the truth, and that Kendrick was just trying to lie on him. That might be Drake's argument. I don't know. That's why Drake needs to talk. I don't want to speak for Drake, and I don't want to speak for Kendrick. What I know is they both are excellent artists. They both are extraordinarily successful at what they do, extraordinarily gifted, generational level talents. I'd love this beef to end peacefully, and I'd love it to end without the law invoked. But we are where we are. Let's see what happens. I'll talk to y'all later soon.